Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Araceli. If you're new here, hello. We are in my bathroom, and so if there's a little bit of an echo, I am still working on the budget for a microphone, so there you have it. You know those vibes when it's late at night in your room and you just deleted Instagram and TikTok and you are in the mood to play with your makeup? It's the vibe of the day and what I'm feeling, so I thought it'd be fun if we play with makeup together. And I have a vision in my head of a angelic, sultry, kind of a Victoria's Secret makeup look. First we need to take care of these eyebrows. I have no idea what's going on there. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. So first, I'm gonna list all the products that I use in my description because I will, if I start, I will likely forget like halfway through. But we'll start off with primer first. And a little disclaimer, I am not a makeup person. I like to play with makeup. I also am not like the person who has all of the fanciest products and like the newest things. Like this is like, these are my makeup bags. This is a very old one that I got, like maybe not too old. 8 months is like a good time frame for me. That's new to me. This is like an Ipsy one, I think I stole from my mom, but all the makeup in here is like random makeup that I've accumulated over as the years go by. And then I am like a favorites person. As far as if I find something that works for me, I'm gonna repurchase it again and again, and like I don't like to veer far off. I'm gonna start off first with eyebrows, and I like to conceal my eyebrows because I think I've just always been a conceal my eyebrows top and bottom kind of person. So I'm gonna start off with that. So I'm just going in and doing the top, and then to the other side I'm just doing the bottom. I recently started to tweeze and like shape my eyebrows myself because I'm tired of going to the threading place that I go to and then having them don't want to speak up and say, hey, I actually love thin brows, please start making them thicker. So I just let them like do what they want, and then I'll go home and like readjust and like retweeze, but then I'll go back and they're like, why do you keep doing that? And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just a push and a pull. We're in a toxic relationship. I'm more of a trust the process kind of gal and work as we go. So if at any point you are losing faith in this process, I promise you, you'll gain it back. I think I'm already losing a little bit of hope. No, I'm not. We'll be good. I don't even know if they're kind of symmetrical at all, but that'll do. Okay, we're gonna move on to the eyes. So first, before I do anything, I'm gonna conceal my eyelids. I'm just literally just blathering on concealer there, blending it out with my fingers. I have to keep the vision in my head and like manifest it. I'm like telling the universe right now, like this is how we want the makeup to come out, so it's gonna happen. Also, for those who've been here know like my work situation, I quit one of my jobs because I just can't anymore. Don't judge me for this. I do not recommend this person or this palette, but we're gonna go into this. I'm just literally using a basic white shade here. This old brush that I have. Anyway, yeah, I feel so like dehumanized at this one job that I have, and instead of over stressing myself and being like, oh, I need to prove myself that like I can do this and like I can handle this, I'm just realized that like I actually don't have to do that and I can leave because it's not that serious. That's always been like my kind of vibe, I suppose. Not necessarily vibe, but I feel like that's always been kind of the premise of trying to not overstress myself and being like, it will work out. And I think I've kind of lost the plot, and that's why I feel a little bit back to myself, because I'm like, no, I definitely lost the plot for a moment there, and I felt so far removed, and I don't want to feel like that at all. So I've realized it's better to cut my losses and let this job go and stop trying to overwork and overprove myself and let it affect my mental health throughout the week because I am the most important and that's all that matters. This is our base right now. It's literally just like white eyeshadow so far. I have this washi tape because I don't have actual tape. Black little like smoky there. That's why that's there. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I definitely lost the plot there. I don't feel like myself there. I feel horrible actually. Instead of overthinking it and just continuously running through this cycle of like questioning my decisions and like what should I do, I've just decided to be like, no, actually I know what to do. And because I've been down the path of like being in such a questionative state of mind and like running through all the answers, I've done that for so long previously before that I have just decided to follow my instinct and do what I literally already know that I need to do, and the rest will follow. I'm not saying that that's easy at all, and I know some people say, and I have the privilege of like doing that. I definitely don't. I will figure that out. I know I will be okay, but I'm financially like on my own. Well, I have my boyfriend, so that is a little bit of a help there, that I have somebody to kind of work through this as well, but he's also going through a job change, so it's going to be interesting for a moment. That is kind of what I'm going for, just a little like smoky moment. Blend that out a bit. Next thing I'm doing is going in with this highlighter. This is kind of like the star of my show today. It's just Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer in the shade Enlighten. So I'm just putting that on the back of my hand. I might take it on this brush that I used for the eyeshadow because I think I'm done with that, and put it in the brush and then kind of tap it in. I don't know if it will at all actually. I think with my finger it might be a bit better. So on my Instagram, I put on there, and I don't have like a lot of followers or anything, so I literally got like 6 responses, but nonetheless I want to talk about them because they were some good ones. I got 5 questions on there because I put a ask me a question thing on there, and so I thought I would answer them. So first question was favorite ways to spark creative inspiration and motivation. That's definitely a tricky one because we consume so much that I understand in this day and age it gets really freaking hard to be creatively inspired, I suppose, when there's so much that we're consuming and comparing at the same time. But my advice to you is probably to just let yourself be bored. And that's kind of like how I feel creatively inspired right now. I did not feel like that this whole week, but I deleted Instagram and TikTok for a moment because I just felt like I was constantly consuming way too much for myself to handle at this time, or anyone in general. And I just was bored the whole day, and I wasn't like not consuming anything because I was just watching TV, but it was TV that like I have seen time and time again, so I knew it wasn't taking like much brain power to process what I was watching. I was just laying in bed literally all day after I got off earlier today. I never said this was going to be a good tutorial. I just said I was playing with makeup, okay? Just this black eye pencil, so I'm gonna use that too to kind of darken this up. Ooh, that's very black, I like that. But yeah, let yourself be bored, and if it's possible, if you have it in your schedule, to just sit in bed and like maybe not consume anything, and figure out different ways to take up your time and like be curious in your space, if that makes sense. So today I was bored, and then I was like, oh my god, I can't take another second of watching this show right now because I like know what's happening, I know what's going on. And so then I just started becoming curious in my household, and I was like, you know what do I have here that like I can kind of entertain myself with? I was literally in my room walking around checking out my clothes. Oh, I forgot I had that. Also going through any magazines that I had here, like books and stuff that maybe I didn't want to read, but I was just kind of looking at the covers and becoming inspired by it, and just being curious in your environment and then going from there, I think will maybe help in some way. I know that it has helped me today. I'm gonna take these off really quick. I kind of failed a little bit because the powder and the liquid liner, or the liquid highlighter, are kind of commingling, but nonetheless the eyes are done. I love this. Okay, this is exactly what I'm kind of like going for. So I'm taking this highlighter again and just putting it, before I put on any like face makeup, putting it on the high points of my face. And then I'm going to blend it out with my fingers again. I'm not doing it in any specific fashion. Someone asked me another question. How do you work and push out a YouTube video every week? I'm in awe, I can barely post 2 times a month. Okay, to be transparent, or I'm sure if you kind of take a look at my channel, I do not post a YouTube video every week. Lately it's been that way, but I am currently not on a schedule as much as I would like to be. I think whenever I give myself less pressure to do that, I almost subconsciously, and because I have less pressure on me, end up wanting to do it more. So I think whenever I relieved the pressure of like, I need to have a YouTube video done by X, Y, and Z in this date, and just allowing myself to flow creatively as in a certain pace that I feel comfortable with and not forcing myself to, it opened up the doors for like more authenticity and more of a flow instead of cranking out a video every single week. So I'm also, okay, I'm gonna go in with this really quick before I finish. So this is just my foundation stick that I'm gonna be using. I don't know if I'll put it on my whole face actually, but I'm just concealing with a couple of things right here. My blemishes are starting to go down, which we love. I'm gonna blend that out with my fingers too. Sometimes I'll post like every other week or 2 times a week. It really just depends. So I don't post a YouTube video every single week. And I also feel like quality over quantity as well too. I don't want to push something out and be like, wow, that was the worst video ever. I just want to be in my own little world with that. So I hope that makes you feel better and is not an answer to that question. This is where things start to get a little crazy because I haven't used this foundation in a while. I don't know if it's my shade, but I feel like it's what's gonna work for this. You guys bear with me. I don't know if this is my shade at all. Yeah, that's definitely not my shade. If I just kind of dab it in a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna be overpowered by that foundation, so I'm just gonna do a little bit there. Okay. The next question I got is, how are you really, and how is therapy so far? I recently just started therapy. I'm paying for it out of pocket because I don't have health insurance right now, so that's been a lot as well too, but therapy is going interesting. I really like my therapist. Okay, next thing actually I'm gonna do is put on concealer under, ooh, that's an old one. Oh my God, I thought I broke it. See what I mean? This is how less makeup I get. If I ever run out of this and I seriously don't feel like buying a new one, there's a little bit of product in this old one, so I'll just scoop it up. And yeah, I'm a little bit stingy with buying new things. And I'm gonna put this underneath my eyes right now too. I find that she really takes time to look at cues within myself. I think our second session, I talked with her about kind of the coping mechanisms that I do during talking about certain things. And I feel like having that conversation with her made her really aware about what can happen to me physically and emotionally. And so I felt like once I shared that with her, kind of a weight was lifted off my chest and like helps me manage it instead of like trying to dismantle any coping mechanisms that I have. It's going really well. I actually have a lot of background stuff going on in my life as well too, as far as like family concerns. You know, we're taking it step by step, but I think the biggest thing recently mentally has been that job. And just taking a moment to be like, you know what, I don't actually need this anymore and I don't have to like put myself in this position. I will figure it out another way. I'm not at like the highest place I could be, but I'm on the way back there. And I'm feeling more comfortable back in my home as well too, and making everything like a safe space again, because I recently moved and I didn't realize before how much emotionally attached to my old environment was, because I moved a lot whenever I was younger. And so I've always been the type to like, I'm putting on powder underneath my eyes. I've always been the type to be able to move and find solitude in a new place really quickly. But this past time that I moved, I think as I get older, I'm like, ooh, that feeling of finding solitude really quickly is kind of like dissipating. I found it took me a really long time to feel at home in this new space, but it's coming along again. That was just a new feeling that I had, and I felt kind of like something was wrong. I don't usually get like this, like I felt kind of uncomfortable, and it took me a moment to like find comfortability again. I matted down my face, but I don't know if that was the right move, but we'll figure that out. I'm also gonna put some in my, I think I am, in my lower waterline right here. That was either a smart move or a bad move. Okay, this is how the eyes are looking so far, and the face. Next thing I'm gonna do, we kind of want some bright cheeks, but I always safely start off with this. Again, I've run out of this. I need to purchase a new one, but there's still some product left, so I've just been working with whatever's left in here. I take a brush, and this is actually lipstick too. This is Milani lipstick in the shade Teddy Bear. I just pat that inside because it's still picking up whatever product's in there. And I've been using that for blush recently. So let's see how I would like this to be placed. I kind of want to take a look. I think we'll kiss it and just do it right here. I don't want to do too much right now. Blush can either make or break this look. The last question that I got is, what is your biggest inspiration to carry on when you find yourself struggling as an artist? And I feel like it is, I don't think failure is the right word, but this deep feeling that I have inside of me that I am, this is like a gray area answer, I know, but that I know I am capable of great things, and I cannot physically allow myself to not try to achieve that. And also looking back on my life, I come from a generation of women who didn't have the opportunities that necessarily I did, and kind of took on this role of caretaker very young. And so I think my biggest inspiration is being able, is like my older self, but also like the versions of my mother or grandmother that didn't get to exist in this lifetime, and doing it for them in a certain way, whether that looks like in a way that they necessarily align with or not, because I also come from a religious family. At least I am being a version of myself that, you know, maybe that they didn't get to exist in. I think that is actually my biggest inspiration, and expressing myself to the fullest extent without shame as well too. Shame is huge in my family, and I am working through lots of different things in this lifetime that have to do with just this long lineage of womanhood that I come from. And it's tough, and it's lonely, and the road is crazy, but I think it's necessary, and I would like to fulfill that in this lifetime to the best of my abilities. So that is my biggest inspiration when I'm struggling as an artist, because I just want it to work. I just want to be as authentic as I can as possible. We're almost done. I might do a little bit more on the blush. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this one as well too. Just a little tiny bit. We're just gonna put it literally there. That's it. Wow. I literally had this old Mary Kay liquid eyeshadow in here. Actually, it's not too late. We can still do that. But this one is a little bit more of like a glitter almost, but that kind of looks nice. So well, there's no like certain inspo pick that I'm looking at, so this is all just vibes. We're gonna go in with Freck OG, and just next we're gonna do lashes and mascara. So I'm gonna take this. I've been working with just a little tiny test tube that I got in like a birthday kit. So I finally purchased some mascara and it feels pretty good. And then we'll see how we're gonna do these lashes. I just got some from the store, so I don't think we're gonna do the whole strip, so let me cut. We'll do maybe like right there. I remember one time I went and got extensions, you know, like lash extensions. I like to use false lashes to like manipulate the way I want my eyes to look. With lash extensions, I can't really do that and like work with my lash curler or placing them a certain way to give me a different effect. I went home and like plucked them all out. I would say for my makeup and all makeup that I usually do when I play with it, it's not something that like I would love to have taken up close, like a Getty Images photo, but if you are looking at me from afar, I think you're like, wow, she knows how to do her makeup. Yay, the eyes are done. That's kind of what I wanted to give. Just this like sultry angel makeup look. I'm gonna go in with this lipstick in the shade Fluxus by Noto, and then kind of put that around my lip, like so. Kind of giving myself maybe a pouty look, we'll see. And then I'm gonna go in with this very old shade, or this very old lipstick in general, NYX in the shade London, like soft matte lipstick in the middle. All right, it's giving frosted. We're gonna add a little bit of final touches, and I'm gonna do a little bit of more of this. I think I got gifted this like forever ago from like an old manager. It slays if you work with her. Not everything's gonna be perfect. You have to learn how things work for you sometimes. I want to do like a little like teardroppy moment. So maybe adding a little bit to the lip. Is that great? Ooh. Ooh. Yay, it's giving like elf fairy princess. I'm gonna do a little bit tiny more. It's almost to where I envision it, but like almost. I'm taking like another really, really white and placing it around this right here. I think now we're to the point where like I start doing things and then the finished product ends up being way farther when I shouldn't have even touched it. Okay guys, this is the finished makeup look. I'm gonna take out I put in extensions and I don't know if I like them. This is the finished makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out, chatting with me, playing with makeup. In like this lighting, it looks a lot better. Thank you guys so much for watching. I feel very cutesy. Sometimes you just need a little moment to play around with makeup and give yourself a little confidence boost again, because Lord knows this job really plays with my self-esteem, to be honest with you. Don't let anything play with your self-esteem. If anything is draining you, you don't feel like the fullest version of yourself, you feel like you're constantly questioning yourself, leave. Wish me luck on this new journey. Again, I'm constantly approaching new journeys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and subscribe if you are new here and haven't already. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video, whatever the vibes may be. Bye.